All right, I think we're live, and yes, we are live. Yeah, this is not a scheduled video. If you guys happen to pop in and be viewing this, that's okay. What is it? I'm going to do a little quarterly update on the YouTube channel, what's going on with the Wheel Reads, what's to come, and kind of talk about what's maybe in the future and kind of spitball with you guys for a little bit. So hopefully you guys view this video afterwards. If you happen to pop in live right now, feel free to comment, but that's fine. So last time I did one of these, I talked about, what's going to happen in the future with the Will Reads, with the YouTube channel in particular. And one of the big things I talked about is a lot more live content. So yes, we're going to be doing more and more live stuff. Our podcast has now moved to a live platform, and we just wanted to do more live. The reason being is I just do not like making videos, like in editing videos. It takes a lot of time. It's not fun for me. It's more tedious, and honestly, I like the off the cuff, unscripted stuff. Writing scripts is not my thing. There are plenty of great content creators out there that do scripted content, and I recommend checking out them all the time. I like to be off the cuff, and that's just what I like to do. So the podcast is continuing to be on YouTube. We're going to do that weekly. That's 8:30 every Tuesday night. That's Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Time, depending on the time of year. And we'll be live doing that podcast. The podcast is still available, of course, on all platforms as well to watch whenever you want to watch it. But do want to continue doing more live videos. And the reason why I'm even doing this live right now is because when I tried to do this video earlier, it kept on messing up. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do a live one. It will save to YouTube and it goes up there automatically, and that's fine. I hardly edit them anyway. So other things that are new. If you tuned in with us last night, which was Saturday night, we did our first ever Cosmere bit with Chris as he's working through a lot of Sanderson. That's something we're going to continue to do as Chris finishes books, is do these little Cosmere talks. If we decide to do something else, we might, but for other authors. But for right now, we are going to be working through Brandon Sanderson work with Chris as he finishes different books. We did All of Error 1 last night. We're going to continue to do that as time goes on. Another thing that we have added as well is live readings. So that's for our patrons only. So for a certain tier, you can listen or watch Ian and Chris react to a chapter live, a chapter we're about to cover on the podcast, and get their initial reaction here in this live. We're going to do some pretty banger chapters. The next one's going to be a great one. So that's scheduled sometime, probably either the end of this month or sometime in September. But that is for our patron perks. So if you haven't checked out our patron perks, go to patreon.com/thewillreads and find different levels if that's something you're interested in as well. Other things as well that we've been doing as a game show. I think last time I did one of these updates, I talked about doing a game show. I wasn't sure what game show I was going to do. And we settled on Wheel of Fortune, our Wad of Fortune. So that's a Wheel of Times themed Wheel of Fortune. We've done 3 so far. I have another one coming up on August 20th. So we haven't scheduled that one yet, but I'm going to announce who's on that later. But that's something that's coming up. So we're going to continue to do those monthly. There'll be a Saturday towards either third or fourth Saturday towards the end of the month every month. And those are 9 p.m. Eastern time. So come check those out. They're a whole lot of fun. I enjoy doing them, and everyone that's been on has had fun doing it as well. At least I think they have. They seem like they've had a good time. So if you guys have suggestions as well on who should be on that, feel free to leave in the comments. Let me know who you would like to see on that show. It can be content creators like YouTube or our podcasters, our TikTokers, or it can just be, fans as well. If you want to be on Wad of Fortune, I will try to work you guys in. Obviously, you have to be live on YouTube and be comfortable with that, but that's something I'm willing to do. I think it'd be fun. Obviously, I have a long list of people I want to go through, but as well as anyone else has suggestions or anyone else wants to be on, let me know. we can work it out, and continue that monthly tradition. Um, Other things as well that are coming up. So I guess the big thing that I wanted to announce is a date for the Twitter Time Awards. So yeah, we did it last year. It was probably our largest video we ever done, is the Twitter Time Awards. If you're not familiar with the wheelies, like the Oscars, it is an award show that we do every year for Twitter of Time. There are different categories like favorite dark friend account, or favorite Ice to Die account, and things like that. And we do a bunch of other fun accounts as well. The biggest jokester, wetland humorist, I think was the category. So there'll be different categories this year. We are still working through that. So keep on checking us on Twitter for that as we get closer to the date. And what is the date? Yeah, it's going to be an easy one to remember because it is the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November, the date we do another award show or something. So come check us out November 5th for Twitter of Time Awards. Thank you, Ben Butler. Yeah, Pravara, we need to have her on Water Fortune as soon as possible. Although she would probably sweep the entire competition there. So definitely going to she's on our list 100%. But yeah, so Twitter Time is a big thing. The award show, working with everyone to get the awards all together for that, and then also the categories. And then so keep checking Twitter because we'll start asking for nominations and different polls for that as we get closer and closer to that November date. But you can save the date now, 5th of November, live here on this YouTube channel for the Twitter Time Awards. And that's it for what's going on as far as live content. Like I said, I have moved away from doing scripted videos, whether it's like the Wheel of Time geography I did, the religion of Wheel of Time, and character breakdowns. And the reason being is because they weren't really highly viewed, and it's a lot of time, and I don't enjoy making them. So you put those three things together, I don't make them anymore. It's one thing if it's getting a ton of views and I'm just going to suck it up and do it, but it's another thing if it's not getting that much views and I spend a whole lot of time, I'm making these scripts and I'm editing and no one's watching them. So I'm asking you guys, what more would you like to see? Would you like to see more live content? I'm happy to do that. Chris and I talked the other night about even doing like TV show reviews. I know a lot of YouTubers do that. It might not be a live format. We both watched the first episode of Sandman, for example, and talked about maybe doing a review of that. And if Ian's doing, we all consume different things. Having Ian come on as well for some things that maybe he's consuming. And we have a big year for fantasy coming up. I mean, between Game of Thrones, the prequel for Game of Thrones coming out in just a few weeks, a new Star Wars series coming out, Andor, Lord of the Rings, the next Wheel of Time season. There are a whole lot. New Shadow and Bone has been announced. The Witcher, they'll make another one of those. There's going to be a lot of fantasy content next year. So, and I'm probably forgetting a million other properties out there that are coming. But so there's plenty to pull from there. We could do TV show, movie reviews, if that's something you guys are interested in. We do book reviews. I've done those in the past. The problem is I don't always read only fantasy, and that's kind of what we're doing with Chris with this Cosmere thing. I like doing that dual strategy where he's reading through something maybe that I've already read, and maybe we'll flip the script and I'll read something that they've read for the first time, and let them do the same thing with me. We'll see, but that might be something we continue to do with books as well. I'm happy to do video games as well. I mean, I am a fairly big gamer. I don't play more traditional games that people play. I kind of play these, kind of less popular games. I mean, right now I'm playing a whole lot of Europa Universalis 4, for example. I know they're making another pirate game, which I'm probably going to play a whole lot of, Skull and Bone, which is kind of a spinoff of Assassin's Creed, but more like Sea of Thieves, if you've seen that before. So happy to review video games. It's going to be expensive. I have to buy a bunch of video games to do it. But if any video game companies want to sponsor me and give me free video games, I'll play your games. If that's something you guys want to see, I'm happy to do that as well. But thinking around the lines of more content there, it might necessarily be live, and of course cons. Con coverage is going to be something as well that we're going to continue to do. Jordan Con is 100% in for next year. We would love to go to more cons. We've talked about going to other ones as well, whether it's SpoilerCon, DragonCon, WatCon, any of those other cons. So we might end up going to more of those and, of course, doing coverage from those. Of course, there's always big news when that happens. And another thing I've thought about doing as well is news content. And the reason why I shy away from that is because there's already so many great YouTubers out there that do news. Whether it's Wheel of Time News, you got Nameless, you got John from What Up. They do a ton of news. For fantasy news in general, you got Daniel Green, does a great job. And there's not much space there for another news unless you guys want to hear news from us. And we're not news podcast. It's not like Talk Around Riyadh, which they're fantastic. If you want like a news podcast on like the Wheel of Time TV show, Talk Around Riyadh, go check them out. It's something that, these are ideas that Ian, Chris, and I have been batting around is doing news, but I kind of talked them out of it, unless it's something you guys want. So basically, I'm asking you guys, here's where we are. Lots of live content, more live content coming. If you guys want something particular us to kind of focus on and do more of, let me know. It's something I'm willing to bat around with Ian and Chris, and if time permits, do more content. Chris has really actually been kind of gung-ho, whereas before, trying to get him just to do one thing a week was like pulling teeth. He has actually gotten kind of on board with doing more and more content, especially since he moved now to YouTube. He's really enjoying it. And Ian's up for it as well. So, scheduling's tough always, but if there's things you want us to do as content creators, let us know. We'll try to make it happen. And really the big news, like I said, that I wanted to share with you for this quarterly update is the announcement of the Twitter Time Awards. So, like I said, once again, save the date. Remember, the 5th of November, we'll be live here. Twitter Time award ceremony. It's going to be a ton of fun. We'll have the Leaf Cast on again for the red carpet beforehand. Tons of content creators, tons of just fans and content creators, not just podcast YouTubers. We'll have actually the Twitter content creators, which are, they're content creators in their own right. If you've ever been on Twitter Time, I highly recommend it. A lot of character counts, play and act like these characters. It's a whole lot of fun to interact with and just have them squabble amongst themselves, and whether it's the Dark Friends and the White Cloaks and things like that. It's a lot of fun role playing those characters and watching it and giving back to that community, which is a large part that's kind of unspoken within our community. So the Twitter Time Awards is a way of giving back to that and giving a little trinket award out for that. You actually do get physical awards. We do actually trophies. We do give out the wheelies. So keep that in mind. Let me know if there's anything else. Like I said, I want to keep this short and sweet. And if there's anything else, let me know in the comments. Also, please, like, subscribe. I can't tell you enough how important it is that we get our subscription numbers up. It helps with doing this live content as far as getting more people to listen to us, so we can make more content. That's something that we're definitely moving towards. Liking the video helps well. Yeah, new Sandman show coverage. I did talk about that already. The Sandman stuff is fun. Chris and I talked about that. And I've already watched the first two. It's just really tough for me to kind of binge watch stuff these days because I have so much other stuff I'm doing. But yeah, whether it's that or I guess we're 17 ways a day from the new Game of Thrones prequel, the what is it? Is it House of Dragon? So yeah, that's coming soon. There's lots of content. So yeah, happy to do coverage on that stuff. And it's just a matter of finding some time to do it. So I'm gonna see if Ian wants to watch Sandman as well, and maybe we'll do like a season review of the entire season once we've all watched it. Rather than doing episode by episode, which I know a lot of people are doing right now. I know Nerdy Nightly's doing that, and so is Let's Be Nerdy. So there's two content creators right there you can go check out and see episode by episode. But for our time's sake, maybe we'll do entire season reviews of seasons rather than just because it's tough to schedule. But yeah, let us know in comments. Happy to do more, but that's all I got for you guys. And guess see you guys on Tuesday for live on the podcast. Bye, guys.